What's going on, everyone? Kurt Weidner, natural pro bodybuilder here. It's a little video. It's been a while. I haven't posted a lot of stuff recently. Had a trip to Utah a couple weeks ago, which was really nice. And then, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, after surviving plenty of days skiing difficult terrain in Utah and being all fine, I come back and yesterday, just stepping down from the door from my gym, I misstepped and twisted my ankle pretty good. Rolled it. I guess the x-rays show a possible fracture. So we'll see. They need to take a closer look at it. But anyway, I'm crutches and boot and unable to use my right leg for the moment. Anyway, I wanted to kind of share some thoughts I had regarding this whole, incident and the implications of it. Here with my crazy 14-year-old Doberman, who I guess this morning decided that she felt bad and felt like she needed to do something to try to help me. So she decided that something needed to be sacrificed. So she killed a rabbit and brought it back. I'm not really sure how that was supposed to help the situation. Maybe it was kind of like Viking style ritual where, something needs to die in order for others to benefit, but whatever. I mean, I appreciate her good thoughts, and I'm sorry, Mr. Rabbit, that you had to die. Maybe my ankle will get better because of that. We'll see. Anyway, back to the subject here. The first thing I was thinking of as I was kind of hobbling around and trying to get my usual stuff done, Sunday is a food prep day. I, got to do all my cooking, put my meals together for the week. So I'm, baking chicken and cooking rice and making my 10 meals that I take to work and put in the fridge there, etc. Obviously on one leg, it's not as easy to do, but I'm still able to do it. I mean, I was kind of hopping around on one foot and obviously not as efficiently as I would be with two, but I don't want to be a burden on anybody. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and ask other people to do things for me that I have to do myself. And so it kind of brings up an interesting point because, you hear the term functional training tossed around a lot. People hear that all the time, and I think some people don't necessarily know what it means. So I figured I'd use this as an opportunity to define it and its applicability to real life. So when you think of functional training, there's two essential parts of it. And so the first thing is like movements that simulate things that you would do in real life. Like obviously squatting and deadlifting are essential because those are movements you do throughout the day, doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, you're picking things up, you're deadlifting, and so what you can do in the gym with that sort of thing translates over. But functional training goes beyond just basic movements. There's a lot of things where it involves asymmetry, imbalances. So, for instance, I did a recent video where I was in a plank position, pulling a sled with one arm attached to a rope. And so that, this is functional. You're doing a lot of different things at once. You're imbalanced from, left to right. You're only using one side at a time. The resistance can be variable at times. So this is another form of functional training. And I guess the best way that I would define this aspect of functional training is that it enhances your ability to adapt to adversity or conditions that are not ideal or, unpredictable, not optimal. And so, today as I was, hobbling around and operating on one leg, I thought about the fact that this is evidence of why functional training is important. And so the fact that I can continue operating, with 50% of my lower body because I can't put can't do anything weight bearing on my right leg. I have the strength in my left leg where I can do hundreds or more hops on that leg and that foot throughout the day. I have the balance. I've basically trained my body to be able to deal with these unfortunate circumstances. So if I didn't do a lot of the things I did, whether it's running hill sprints or pulling a sled, whether it's doing the farmers walks, jumps, different things, plyometrics, that kind of prepared me. It might be a lot harder for me to be able to do that. And even worst case scenario, if I didn't have the core strength and the upper body strength and the strength in my left leg that I have, it could be impossible for me to do some of those things. And then I would actually be, I would probably just have to sit on the couch and have people find somebody who can take care of me, which that's not how I live. That's, freedom comes in a lot of forms. And so functional freedom is one of them. I don't want to be in a circumstance where I'm relying on anybody else to have to do things. I want to be able to do things myself. And so, my fitness level and how I've trained myself over the years enables me to continue having, a degree of freedom, even with an injury that leaves me in a less than ideal circumstance. And if I was overweight, if my strength to weight ratio isn't what it is, let's say I was 50 or 100 pounds overweight, and I didn't have strong arms and shoulders and other things to be able to use a crutch or two crutches at a time, or to be able to hop around on one leg as I'm dancing around the kitchen trying to do my usual tasks. Well, those things wouldn't be possible. And so then, I become at the mercy of the circumstance, which I don't want to be. So I think this is a real life example of what functional fitness actually is. Some people train, they train in the gym. Some do it for vanity. They do it because they want to be able to post pictures of themselves on Instagram and whatnot. But, fitness and why you train, there are benefits of the physical manifestations, how you look and whatnot, your ability to perform in certain specific exercises, but more importantly, it prepares you both mentally and physically for real life, and the adversity that can get thrown at you. And so, obviously I don't want to have a sprained ankle, or possibly fractured, whatever it is. But, because of my fitness level, I can continue on with my life and get things done and try to let it impede as little as possible and not become reliant on other people for things that I do on a regular basis. So that's kind of the first takeaway. The second takeaway, and obviously at first when I did this, I was upset, frustrated, and angry, because I pride myself on what I can do physically, and I get a lot of gratification out of my workouts, and Saturday morning is a big workout day for me, where it's like a 3-hour workout, and I want to really challenge myself. So, obviously I can't really do any type of lower body exercise with a fractured or badly sprained ankle. But, you got to stop and put things in perspective. There's people who are dealing with far worse. In the grand scheme of things, a sprained ankle isn't that bad. This is a temporary situation, and maybe to some degree my resolve is being tested again. So I have to be patient, see the big picture, and work around it. I know people and have known people who have battled with serious illnesses and conditions that in some cases took their life or are threatening to take their life. And so, there are those who have things far worse. I look at somebody like a Brian Alsrew, who, he was working in counterterrorism and ended up with a parasite that caused him to throw up 50 times a day. And he had to go and see all kinds of doctors and has been battling with issues for years, and even still is, it's hard for him to keep food down, and yet he can still, squat and deadlift like 700 pounds and bench like 500 pounds, despite the fact that he gets barely any sleep and, isn't able to eat and almost freaking died. So, when you look at situations like that, or, I had a friend who died of cancer. I know somebody else who's battling with cancer right now. Hurting my ankle really isn't a big deal, not something that I should complain about. And, life goes on. Fortunately, like I said, this for me is temporary and other people's conditions are not. So, the other thing, I guess the third takeaway from this is that, sometimes things that could be looked at in a very negative manner, you can see differently if you can put a positive spin on it and look at it as an opportunity. So, obviously I can't really do much lower body training right now until this is healed up. But I can see it as an opportunity to work on strengthening other things that I can work. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I can't do right now, but there's still a lot of things that I can do. And so like last night, after I got home from getting my x-rays, I went in the gym and wanted to get a workout in. And so I found things that I could do. I did Larson presses on the bench press and combined it with leg raises, where I do a bench press and then a leg raise. And of course I'm wearing a boot, so that adds some weight. And then in between those sets, I'd go and do a set of pull-ups or a set of pull-downs, some tricep push-downs, push-ups with one foot elevated, so I was balancing on one leg and keeping the other leg out to the side, so I didn't put any weight on that ankle. So during this period where I have to let that right leg rest and heal, I can use it as an opportunity to get really good on some other things that I wanted to do. I wanted to elevate my pull-up game. So I think this is an opportunity. I can get stronger on pull-ups and, even do more weighted push-ups, more total pull-ups, more volume there. My pushing strength, as long as I'm not putting weight on the leg, I can work on improving those things. So seeing it as an opportunity. And then kind of the last point or takeaway that with this whole incident is that, I wouldn't call myself like a superstitious person, or but sometimes I do feel like things might happen for a reason. And as some of you may know from my posts, I've mentioned that I've had issues with my right knee, which are getting kind of problematic. I don't have an exact diagnosis. It's possible that it could be plica syndrome, which is a kind of an overuse injury. And then I've had issues, like last year I had the hernia surgery, and I've had some complications with my lower abdomen. I actually scheduled to go for an ultrasound Wednesday at VCOM. So I was getting those checked out. And so, the way I train lower body, obviously with those things, it wasn't really giving things an opportunity to heal and rest. I'm not really the best at taking it easy or backing off. And my knee has been painful, but it still works, and I can still do the things, so I'm going to keep doing them. And so really, until I'm in a situation where I am now, where I literally can't do squats and hack squats and leg presses and lunges and sled, that knee isn't going to get rest. So, maybe it was a point where this happened because the few weeks or whatever it ends up taking for my ankle to now heal, the other things that needed a rest will get a rest. So I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's just one way of looking at it and kind of putting a positive spin on it. Is, some people call it a blessing in disguise. So anyway, bottom line is things happen that are not ideal and can be frustrating at times with respect to, how we want to live our lives. There's always going to be interruptions and unfortunate incidents, and they challenge our resolve. But I mean, I guess how we we choose to look at them is what enables us to kind of push forward and become better, regardless of the situation. So anyway, that's my little Sunday talk. So hopefully, somebody found this useful. Anyway, have a great week, everyone. Go whatever you do, go out and crush it. I mean, aim to become better at everything that you do, and find something positive and focus on it. So, all right.